What's good, guys? Hope you guys had a great weekend. I mean, it was a mess. But hey, I'll tell you one thing, guys. We're heading to UFC 321 full card predictions, so it won't be too much of a recap, but let's go. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the cards lately. I'm on a 3-fight main event. I can't get it right for my life if my life depended on it. Ankalaev, Oliveira. Well, these are the main events that I got wrong. Ankalaev, Oliveira, and RDR. Now, what the hell is going on? I never gotten 3 main events wrong in a row. But guys, I will say the Gamrot pick was a little bit off of me. But look, let's look at this. Man, this was a little bit of a mess, but it is what it is. One thing I'll say is, hey, we got lock of the week streak back, baby. We're back in the win column. We lost with Joel Alvarez inside the distance. He didn't finish Vicente Luque. But hey, we hit with Zahabi. I know it was a crazy fight. I know people were like, oh, it was a split. Oh, Cheeto won that. I gave Zahabi the fight, guys. I gave him rounds 1 and 3. I believe he got dropped in round 2. And then I was like, you know what, let me sprinkle him a little bit. But I should have went in crazy because I'm over here thinking that RDR is going to win the fight. So, Cronin gets to finish inside the distance over this ball. Beautiful, beautiful. But I don't know, man. Like, the ref just stepped in just to step in. There was like 3 seconds left. Bekov gets knocked out. I don't know what's going on, man. I know it was a massive size advantage for Yorzi, but Yorzi's very good. I'm going to give him his credit. Trains with Alex Pereira. That gym is on fire lately, so shout out to him. Luciano gets the win inside the distance as well. And Barlow, like all these 3 fights in the beginning ended inside the distance. And then Barlow had a good first round. Okay, you lost the second round. Now it's 1-1. And then he gets taken down. He's looking smooth, but he's looking gassed. He's kind of leaning back, getting tagged by Jordan Santos. Jordan Santos kind of being herky-jerky. And this one was the one that was getting me mad. Barlow. Fight IQ, fight IQ, fight IQ. You got to be a little bit more sharper. You got to be a little bit more urgent to get up. Barlow, unsuccessful middleweight debut. But I think you'll win your next one, Barlow. Silva versus Park. This one got me way more mad because look at the acne on Bruno Silva's back. You can tell that this guy's on some gear. And Park's now on a 2-fight losing skid. Same thing with Barlow. Gibson, knocked out, whatever. It is what it is. Dober. I'm glad that he got the KO because I was going to be, 8 and 5? I'm glad, bro. I went 7 and 6. I was about to say 6-7, but I went 7 and 6. Let's not be cringe. For Vola, oh my gosh, man. Like, I don't know what Dan Mergliata was doing. There's 3 seconds left. The fight's over. And then Grant gets dropped. He gets, hurt. Then he just jumps into the ghillie, man. It's like, oh my gosh, Grant. Oh my gosh. Farhat gets the win. But she knocks out Jasmine. Jasmine goes, she does the chicken dance. And then, some argue that it was a little bit of an early stoppage. But if you look at an angle, the amount of shots that she was taking, she did go down a little bit. I'd say that was a little bit fair. I don't know. I do feel a little bad for Jasmine because on a 5-fight win streak and just all of it just gone like that. It's like when Grant Dawson got knocked out by Bobby Green. Now Grant Dawson has to fight. I forgot. He has a new matchup that's I think it's Manuel Torres. I think Grant Dawson's fighting. And Zahabi, you got dropped in the second round. Zahabi, you get dropped every fucking fight. It's like there's always a nail biter with Zahabi, but I'm glad that you got the job done. Chito Vera is very good. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, Chito Vera's washed. No, he's not washed at all. He was sharp, had the kicks. It's just that instinct that he had, the killer instinct that he had a little bit earlier is a little bit dwindled down, but he's still sharp, still accurate. Very good power as well. Mike Malak gets the win. Obviously, there was a nut shot, all this stuff. Holland, I don't know. I do feel bad because, if he can't continue, he can't continue. But then at the same time, it's like, they said that he was going to get DQ'd if he didn't continue. So I was like, whoa, if I'm Holland, I can't take a way out now. I don't know. That was a little bit of a mess, but we hit with Mike Malak by decision. And Allen, RDR ends up gassing. No ground and pound. I love what Bilal Muhammad said in the corner. He's like, after round 1, he's like, he has no ground and pound. He's going for the body lock trip, and he's relying on that. He has no ground and pound. He doesn't have any ground and pound if his life depended on it. And that's true about RDR. Bro, you know what actually makes me happy about this? I think Bo Nickel can beat RDR in the future. But maybe I'm a little bit crazy. Maybe I'm going a little bit to an extreme. But guys, he quit the same way that he quit against Antonio Malaki. I think he had, like, obviously he said he had virus, he was sick, all that stuff, but isn't that the new meta? Isn't everybody saying, oh, they were sick, all this and that? And maybe he was. But pull out then, bro. It's like, come on, bro. Like, you might never get a title shot in your career now because of that silly decision. And I know you gotta make, you gotta pay, you gotta make money, all that stuff, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like even if, I don't know. I don't want to say this, but I just feel like RDR, he's going to need a lot more tools in the bag, no elbows from on top, no implementation of damage, no urgency to get the ball rolling, to do something while you're on full mount. Do something. Stop going for the submission. It's like a guy like RDR, I feel like you're done, bro. I don't think he'll, and I know I was high on him, but I feel like with a guy like RDR, I don't know what's next, but we'll see. Shout out to Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen, you're him, my guy. He pulled up the receipts of everybody in the comment section on Instagram, and I think that's pretty cool. A lot of fighters should be doing that as well. So shout out to you. I'm happy that Manafort and Zahabi won. They were my favorite fighters to watch this weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm on Google Photos right now, so you guys can see it a little bit more closer. This is the bet that I lost, guys. Hong Sung Park versus Eamon Zahabi. I feel bad for Park, man. Park got submitted twice in a row now, and it's like, man, bro, I think Park should have never took that fight on short notice against Tyra. But obviously, he did the UFC a favor, but at what cost? You're now on a 2-fight losing skid. Danny Barlow versus RDR didn't hit this. They both lost anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Danny Barlow really got me a little bit mad because of, like, he could have won that fight. But it is what it is. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. This is the only best that I hit, guys. I did block this out because you guys know, I don't want to leak stuff. But it's Mike Malott. We hit with that minus 104. I believe that was a little bit of a live bet. Eamon Zahabi, we hit with that. And then Eamon Zahabi before the fight. Live bet, I think. I think we live bet with Zahabi twice. We live bet. I think all of these are live bets. These are the only bets that we hit because I was parlaying Zahabi with RDR. I was parlaying Mike Malott with RDR. When I should have took the over 2.5. I was on the over 2.5 all the time, and I didn't. So these are the only bets that we hit. Excuse me. I hope you guys hit. I hope you guys cash. I hope you guys didn't lose too much. Because, man, bro, it's been crazy, bro. I got to start playing money lines a little bit more. 14 fights. Let's break down this card from top to bottom. Let's go without further ado. Let's not gish gallop. Let's go. Jaqueline Amorim versus Mizuki Inoue. Jaqueline Amorim minus 480. Mizuki Inoue plus 330. Jaqueline Amorim is so hot, which is what I wrote in my notes. No gi and BJJ. Gi world champ. She does love to grab the glove inside, though. She loves to grab the glove, the inside of the glove. And you know what I noticed, guys? There's a lot of cheating going on. I don't know. Like, there's a lot more cheating going on. There's a lot more bullshit going on. The fight stopped. The fight goes on. Neil Magny, Jake Matthews, nut shots all over the place. There's a lot more going around. And it doesn't matter as long as you win the fight. She does love to grab the inside of the glove. Shows you even the prettiest women cheat. But I'm joking. In MMA, of course, in this instance. Amorim is 30 years old. Trains at Coconut Creek, Florida. American top team. 10-1. 4-1 in the UFC. 4-0 in LFA. 7 subs in the first. 8 overall, 2 wins by KO and 1 loss by decision. She has a 100% finish rate, a wide variety of subs, arm bar, knee bar, rear naked choke, arm triangle, knee bar. She has multiple wins by arm bar, which seems to be her go-to sometimes. Her only loss is to Sam Hughes. And Luciano last week lost to Sam Hughes by split, and she did amazing against Oliveira. I think if you lose to Sam Hughes, it's a blessing in the same time. It's a blessing in disguise. Her striking is alright, not the best. Matched up against Mizuki Inoue, who we're going to talk about when we talk about the Jandiroba and Mackenzie Dern fight, because Jandiroba has a split decision win over Mizuki Inoue. New York City, New York, 15-6 overall, 31 years old, 64-inch reach. She has been in the UFC since 2019, Reebok era. She made her UFC debut against Yana Wu. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. Lost to Amanda Lemos, and beat Hannah Goldie back in 2023. She lost to Verna Jandiroba by split in Invicta back in 2018, who we'll talk about up the card. Lost to Alexa Grasso back in 2015, Karolina Karolejczyk as well. She's been training ever since she's been a kid, volume on volume, second time fighting in 5 years. She's decent on the feet, can wrestle as well at times. She has never been submitted in her entire career, and she actually has never been finished, which is a pretty cool stat. But Jaqueline Amorim is going to be the pick. And give me Amorim by sub, armbar, or rear naked choke. I normally don't try to call the submission, but in this case, I'm going to try to call it. You know, I'm going Jaqueline Amorim by sub. Majority's going by submission on points. I like the double chance as well. Give me by armbar or rear naked choke. I just want to try to predict it and see if we can get it right. Azat Maksum versus Mitch Raposo. This is a banger scrap, guys. This whole card is stacked. Minus 330 for Azat. Mitch Raposo plus 240. This is a banger matchup. This entire card is bangers on top of bangers on top of bangers. Azat Maksum, he did really good his last time out against Tagir Lebekov. Maksum is only two losses are to Charles Johnson and Tagir Lebekov. 5'7", you know, pretty long reach for 125 at 70. Only 30 years old. Can wrestle very well defensively and offensively. Sometimes he can get going and start flowing. Very composed. When you look at it, he is losing. He is on a 2-fight losing skid, right? And that can either motivate you or demotivate you. But I think Azat is the guy to only get better from these 2 back-to-back losses. Azat has never been finished. Matched up against Mitch Raposo, Massachusetts, 27 years old, trains at New England Cartel, 64.5-inch reach. Mitch is 9-3 with losses to Jake Hadley, Andre Lima, and Sumadarji. He does need to polish his grappling against Sumadarji. If you were to watch that fight, it wasn't a split in my honest opinion. I think Sumadarji clearly won that fight. I know Mitch had moments, but he got outclassed in that fight. Mitch also lost in the Ultimate Fighter. He's very young, still time to grow and improve. He's tough, each one to give one, and he will be more comfortable the more fights he has in the UFC. Azat to put a grappling clinic. Azat could even finish this fight inside the distance. Both of these guys are on 2-fight losing skids, but on completely different trajectories. Azat to get the job done. I like his money line. Azat by submission on points. Azat at this price tag, I think it's a discount, guys. We got a guy like Hamdy, Abdelwahab at a minus 430, and I think that's absolutely atrocious. We're going to talk about actually right now. That was a good transition. Tell me not. I'm getting a little bit better with the transitions. Chris Barnett versus Hamdy Abdelwahab. Chris Barnett plus 280. Hamdy Abdelwahab minus 390. Chris Barnett's a freak of nature. 23-9 overall. 39 years old. The way this guy can throw a spinning wheel kick is insane. He can do it. He can do it all. He can do a front flip. Has flexibility like no other. And I think he can do a split. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure. Count me on that. And he loves to dance, guys. He's a heavyweight that loves to dance, has deceptive power, 18 wins by KO, no wins by sub, and 5 wins by decision. 2-3 in the UFC. Good low kicks, decent fight IQ with the way he can set up his strikes. He is 5'9" for heavyweight. Surprisingly, he has a longer reach. Sometimes he isn't locked in, and he hasn't fought in over a year. Matched up against Hamdy Abdelwahab. Hamdy, the Eggman, Olympic wrestler, who has tested positive before, based out of New York, but he's Egyptian. 6'2", 73-inch reach, 4-1 overall. His only loss is to a guy who's no longer in the UFC, which I didn't know about until recently, Mo Usman. Hamdy is a bit slow, can be seen throwing punches from miles away, doesn't wrestle when needed. If he were to wrestle more consistently, he would have a lot more success. These odds are all over the place. The majority of typologies are on Barnett, but Hamdy is a minus 400, guys. Hamdy has been on gear before, went to a split with Jamal Pokes. Hamdy's not the best striker, doesn't wrestle if his life depended on it, but I'm going to go with Hamdy, guys. Hamdy by KO on points, low confidence, but give me Hamdy for the dub. I might put Chris Barnett in a parlay, but I just don't know where Chris Barnett's at. Majority typology is going Chris Barnett by KO. This guy, you know, if he gets a KO, he's going to be dancing all over the place. But guys, I think Hamdy should be able to win this fight. Low confidence, minus 390. It's ugly. But give me Hamdy for the dub, guys. I think he should be able to win this fight. Let's go. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's go up to the card, up the card. Jose Delgado versus Nathaniel Wood. I think this is going to be a banger scrap, guys. Minus 160 for Jose Delgado. Nathaniel Wood plus 124. Very interesting matchup here. Jose Delgado has made waves ever since he's been in the UFC. 10-1 for Jose. 27 years old. 5'11", 73-inch reach. 27 years old. I like that 27 years old. I really do, because, you know, you still have so much time to grow, so much time to improve. Jose is 2-0 in the UFC with wins over Conor Matheus and Hyder Amil. That Hyder Amil win is a very good win. He's a boxer, great movement, great low kicks, has a lot of success in the chaos, but he does need to polish his takedown defense. He can wrestle very well offensively. His power is nuclear, very good accuracy when he lands on the button. It's lights out. Very good addition to 145, 100% finish rate, matched up against Nathaniel Wood. Now, Wood is a tricky fighter. He's a true technician. He dropped Morgan Charrier bad 6 months ago and managed to win by decision. 21 wins, 6 losses, 32 years old, trains out of Great Britain American Top Team. Great Britain top team. I'm getting American top team confused. Great Britain top team, 9-3 in the UFC. Only losses in the UFC are to John Dodson, Casey Kenny. John Dodson and Casey Kenny, and most recently, back in 2023, he lost to Muhammad Naimov. He's now on a 2-fight win streak, beating Daniel Pineda and Morgan Charrier. Great low kicks, great in and out movement, grappling and wrestling in his back pocket, beautiful control, volume on volume, mixed with great takedown defense. He was spamming low kicks against Charrier and showed levels. Hyder Emil was known to have a chin made out of granite, and Delgado put his lights out. Nathaniel Wood has fought at the highest level for way longer than Jose Delgado. We haven't seen Jose Delgado face too much adversity or as much adversity as Nathaniel Wood has. He's been in the top of the game for a lot longer. This is one of those fights that might be an all-out war. I cannot wait for this fight. But give me Wood for the dub, guys. Nathaniel Wood. I think he should be able to win this fight, guys. Let's go, my guy, Nathaniel Wood. Majority tap odds on Delgado by KO. You know it's going to be a banger scrap, guys. You know it's going to be a banger scrap. Give me Delgado for the dub. Valter Walker versus Louie Sutherland, guys. Now, another guy who got cut from the UFC, I believe. Justin Tafa. I believe so. Valter Walker minus 310. Louie Sutherland plus 260. Louie Sutherland was supposed to fight Justin Tafa, but that fight fell through because the Tafa brothers love to pull out of their fights. Valter Walker was supposed to fight Mo Usman, but both Mo Usman and Justin Tafa pulled out on purpose. I know everybody's going to say injury, this, that. They pulled out on purpose. Mo Usman and Justin Tafa pulled out on purpose. They didn't want that smoke. Both Mo Usman and Justin Tafa are now cut from the UFC because they always want to keep on playing these games. So now we are here. We talked about Louie before. Louie will be making his UFC debut. 10-3, 76-inch reach, 6'3", 31 years old. All three of his losses come by decision. Sutherland is also a wrestler. Heavy hands. Looks to find success in the chaos. Sutherland looked weird before his fights with Tafa. Like, he looked more jacked. And then when it got to fight week and we looked at the pictures of him, he didn't look as jacked as he used to in his other organization when the UFC was taking photos of him. He actually looked more softer physique-wise. Good jab, good kicks, looks to get the job done inside the distance. He does eat one to give one, comes from Great Britain top team. 8 wins by KO, 2 wins by decision. He's a decent wrestler. Louie will look to defend some takedowns and implement damage, maybe mix in some of his takedowns of his own. But he's going to be matched up against Valter Walker, guys. Valter Walker, the better Walker brother. 14-1 overall, 3-1 in the UFC. Made his debut against Lucas Bresky. Guys, how many times are we going to talk about this, guys? Lucas Bresky made his debut against Lucas Bresky. He was out of shape in that fight. Not only was he out of shape in that fight, guys, but he needed that loss in order to become the man that he is today. Since losing his UFC debut, he beat Junior Tough, Dontel Mays, and Kennedy and Jekichu all by heel hook. He's breaking records while taking heels. Pressure style, wrestles, spent a majority of his life in Russia. Valter comes forward, looks to shoot off the rip. He's in much better shape, way better cardio, way better fight IQ. He did take a bad shot against Kennedy, and he almost paid for it because he got tagged a bit, but he ended up working very well for him because the pick is going to be Valter Walker, and he ended up winning that Kennedy fight by heel hook. The pick is going to be Valter Walker, guys. Walker by submission on points, double chance. And can we actually get a Walker fight? Because I'm tired of the cancellations, and I got to break down this fight like 2 weeks later, bro. It's like I broke both of these guys down already. Louie is no longer on gear. I'm going to go with the Valter Walker brother. We saw Bruno Silva on gear. Pimples all over his back. Looked like a freak of nature. And I don't think Louie Sutherland looks like this no more, guys. Give me Valter Walker for the dub. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Can that Valter Walker fight please happen, bro? Because I'm tired of the cancellations, bro. I'm tired of it. Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady versus Matheus Camilo, guys. If you know that Matheus Camilo was my lock of the week against Gabe Green 5 months ago. It shows you how much better the lock of the week has gotten, how much more I take into consideration, how much more I try to think about the lock of the week. I brainstorm every week. And I locked Matheus Camilo. And on his UFC debut, maybe that wasn't the smartest decision because we know that he fumbled the bag. Minus 120 for Selwady, Camilo minus 106. I'm excited for this fight. I've never actually seen Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady fight live on TV. You know, I've had to rewatch his fights, but I've never seen him fight live. I always had to watch his fights back. He hasn't fought in a year and 7 months. Abdul is 30 years old, very good at what he does. 5'8", 15-4, 0-1 in the UFC, 8 KOs overall, 2 wins by sub, and 5 wins by decision. Very defensively sound, guys. Deceptive power, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Very deceptive power. I accidentally turned off the display. 1 second, guys. Hang on. Alright, guys, my bad. Alright, so Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady is very hot as well. Very good at what he does. 5'8", 15-4, 0-1 in the UFC. 8 KOs overall, 2 wins by decision, 8 KOs overall, 2 wins by sub, and 5 wins by decision. Very defensively sound. Deceptive power, but he eats one to give one. He looks to counter with takedowns. He lost his UFC debut against Ľudovít. The red flag about Abdul is all of his losses come by way of knockout, guys. All of them come by knockout, matched up against Camilo. Camilo was winning his last time out against Gane, but he made questionable decisions and he fumbled badly. 9-3 overall, only 24 years old. Camilo's a finisher. 4 KOs, 2 subs, and 3 wins by decision. Camilo is decent, comes forward, but he hunts for submission over position. He can have your back and go for a stupid mistake. He had control over Gane, and he rolled to a triangle, and he got subbed. The type of decision making that should be something you should learn from and take into consideration in your next fight. Very good matchmaking this entire card. Both of these guys will bite down on their mouthpiece and go to war. Camilo is not a minute winner, but he's a moment winner. Abdul has better fight IQ. He should be able to win this fight. Abdul might have ring rust though. Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady is going to be the pick. And I think his money line is perfect, guys. Give me Abdul-Kareem Al-Selwady for the dub, guys. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. It is getting hot, but let's go. Let's go. Matheus Rębecki versus Ľudovít Klein. Plus 114 for Matheus Rębecki. Ľudovít Klein minus 146. Very quick turnaround for Rębecki. He's a dog. He's a dog, guys. He's a dog. Rębecki's an animal. Tough as nails. Keeps coming forward. He can grapple, but he struggled his last time out. He struggled to get the ball rolling because Duncan was huge, throwing sub attempts as well that made Rębecki respect Duncan a bit more on the ground. Rębecki is 20-3 overall. 20 wins, 3 losses. 5'7", 33 years old. And he has been in wars as of late. 3-2 of his last 5, losing to Diego Ferreira, Chris Duncan, and most recently. Guys, I think that Rębecki, like, he gets cut a little bit way too easily. In my opinion. He kind of gets a little bit swollen too easily. I don't know if that has to do with scar tissue. But he does get cut up a little bit way too easily, in my opinion. He has 9 wins by KO, 7 wins by sub, and 4 wins by decision. Rębecki can sometimes get tagged and cut up, but he has great cardio. Can he want to give one? Matched up against Ľudovít Klein. This is insanely good matchmaking. Klein had a tough time out last time against Gamrot. 4 months ago, he was controlled. 23-5-1, 30 years old, 5'7". Klein is 7-3 in the UFC with wins over Mason Jones, Ignacio Bahamondes, and AJ Cunningham, Thiago Moises, and Roosevelt Roberts, guys. Very, very good wins, guys. Very good wins. Klein can wrestle himself as well. Just Gamrot was just on another level with that wrestling. Klein is a technician. He keeps his cardio for a full 15. If you are able to get the wrestling going, he can struggle. And that's what makes it a little bit tricky in this fight. He defended 5 takedowns against Gamrot. He gave up 6. Rębecki has a heart made out of gold. Rębecki has volume, overwhelms people. Klein is going to be the pick. But Rębecki, I don't know, he does get cut easily, but that doesn't mean that he can't get the grappling going. Klein for the dub money line. Rębecki can get takedowns going, though, and he can definitely win this fight. I'm going to go Ľudovít Klein. Give me Ľudovít Klein. This is a banger, guys. Bangers on bangers on bangers. Ľudovít Klein for the dub. Let's go, my guy, Ľudovít Klein. Let's go. Now, guys, I know Azmatbekov was a confident pick last week, including myself. I think this is a good position to have with Ikram Aliskerov. He's a lower price tag than Azmatbekov was last week, and I think he's going to fit his price tag and fulfill the victory. Minus 265 for Ikram Aliskerov. Jung Young Park plus 200. Banger scrap. I'm always hyped to see Ikram fight. Ikram has a base of wrestling, has crisp striking, and he's fun to watch. 16-2. Only 2 losses are to Hamza and Robert Whittaker, and he got KO'd in both of those fights. He got caught with a brutal uppercut in both matches. He can be susceptible to that uppercut. 7 KOs, 5 wins by sub, and 3 wins by decision. He's a finisher who can wrestle, great shot selection, great fight IQ. He has excellent control, great striking, deceptive power, defensively sound as well. The way he put Muniz out was a sight to watch. A true striker's delight. Matched up against Jung Young Park. Jung Young Park is 19-6 overall, 9-3 in the UFC. His only losses in the UFC are Anthony Hernandez, Gregor Rodriguez, and Andre Muniz. But he is 4-1 out of his last 5, looking to extend his win streak to 3. He beat Brad Tavares and Ismail Nuradiev, and that Ismail Nuradiev fight was amazing, guys. If you know, you know. He's tough as nails. He took an illegal knee against Ismail, and he kept on fighting. The Iron Turtle is awesome. I love watching his fights. Park was getting out grappled by Muniz, But I think Ikram wants a crazy KO highlight reel in Abu Dhabi. Ikram by KO points. Ikram can wrestle if needed as well. I think Ikram can put a beating on Jung Young Park. As much as I love the Iron Turtle, Ikram is going to be the pick. I like him by KO points, maybe by KO or submission, guys. I cannot wait. Ikram is always a treat to watch, guys, and I think that he's the real deal, guys. Ikram is what I thought Asmat Bekov was. Nasrat Haqparas versus Quillan Salkid, minus 105 for Nasrat Haqparas, Quillan Salkid, minus 115. This is a banger scrap. I had no idea this fight was even happening until not too long ago. Nasrat is 18-5 overall, 10-4 in the UFC, looking to extend his win streak to 6. Nasrat has lost the decision to Marcin. And, guys, he lost the decision to Marcin Held. All the way back. I know it's like, why are you bringing this up? But he did lose the decision to Marcin Held. Marcin Held by decision. UFC Fight Night 118. All the way back in 2017. Got KO'd by Drew Dober back in 2020. Lost to Dan Hooker and Bobby Green back-to-back. And then he won on a tear, beating John McDexie, Landon Canoas, Jamie Malarkey, Jared Gordon, and most recently beat Esteban Brivovic in a close fight where he did the chicken dance at the end of round 3. He's a great striker, volume on volume on volume, lands almost more than 6 significant strikes per minute, great takedown defense, always tries to start flowing. But against Rębecki, he went to war, and Rębecki showed that if you pressure him, get in his face, Nasrat can struggle a little bit. Rębecki just took too long to get going. But Nasrat, he eats one to give one because he's also kind of, willing to jump into the fire. And I personally thought that he lost that Gordon fight, but whatever. It was in Saudi Arabia. And I thought that he lost that fight against Esteban Rębecki, but whatever, on paper he won. Matched up against Quillan Salkid. Salkid is 9-1 overall, 25 years old, 2-0 in the UFC with wins over Anshel Jubli, Yanela Smoosh. Very good athlete, guys. Very good athlete. Yanela Smoosh is a very good win, guys. I believe Smoosh KO'd Sam Patterson. Very good athlete. Very good management of range. In and out style for Quillan Salkid. Great counter puncher. Salkid's only loss is to Pablo excuse me, my pronunciation's all over the place. Torrealba. By rear naked choke. His very first pro bout. Salkid can wrestle very well. Very good shot selection. BJJ black belt. This might be a striker's delight with some grappling in the mix. Yanel backed up. He got back. Guys, Yanel, he backed up Salkid. And Salkid had an excellent plan B with the wrestling. This card is stacked. Striker's delight. Volume on volume on volume. Close fight. Nasrat makes fights way too competitive. Nasrat can wrestle as well. Salkid is going to be the pick, but we've seen Nasrat hurt. You have to get started early against Nasrat because if it's too late, Nasrat already banked the first and second round. Or you already banked 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the entire round or 3 minutes of the round. Nasrat, he's very good at banking rounds. Before you know it, you're down a round and you got to play catch up. Salkid is going to be the pick. Low confidence. I think the plus 3.5 for Nasrat or Salkid is good either way depending on the price tag. But give me Salkid by KO on points. Let's go, my guy, Salkid for the dub. Let's go. Salkid for the dub. Let's go. Main card time, baby. Alexander Rockkick versus Azamat Mirzakhanov, guys. This is a banger scrap. Rockkick minus 106. Azamat Mirzakhanov minus 120. I love a good fight, guys. All these fights on this card is good. We don't have no bad fights, guys. Alexander Rockkick, 14-5 overall. Looking to get back in the win column after a 3-fight losing skid. He's very good, very well-rounded. But he has been having some tough luck as of lately. As of most recent. Lost to Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prohaska, and Magomed Ankalaev. All of those guys are very good at what they do. 33 years old, 6'4". Rockkick has good low kicks, good ability to pressure forward. But if you get in his face and you start overwhelming him, he can struggle, he can overwhelmed, and then break. Or he could just get tagged up. Rockkick has excellent head kicks, good 1-2 head kick like Robert Whittaker. A true technician with great footwork. Prefers to point fight. If he gets into a brawl, he's on the wrong end of it usually. He lost to the best. Matched up against Azamat Mirzakhanov, a 36-year-old Russian who has a lot of hype on him as of recent. 5'10", will be much shorter than Rockkick. Much older too. And he has a 6.5 reach disadvantage. Azamat, the professional, 15-0. I like his nickname, The Professional, but it might age like milk if he loses. It looks nice because he's the professional, 15-0, and he has... But you know how it is, guys. You know how it is. He has a 6.5 reach disadvantage. Azat the professional, 15-0, 11 wins by KO, 1 win by sub, and 3 wins by decision. Azat has deceptive power, super dangerous, looks to implement damage, a knockdown in every single one of his UFC fights. Brutal ground and pound, he can wrestle as well, but he doesn't rely on it. The only fight that the UFC that he didn't finish was against Dustin Jacoby, who we know Dustin is tough as nails, guys. If your name is Dustin Poirier, Dustin Jacoby, all these guys are tough. Oliveira, if you have Oliveira in your last name, you know you're a fighter. Rock kick, a true technician. And if he starts flowing, he can have a lot of success here. You know, being on the outside, picking Aspinall Mirzakhanov from the outside with the leg kick, the 1-2, picking him apart from the outside, being a technician. The power is what saves Mirzakhanov. The nuclear power, the end-all be-all. Mirzakhanov can lose the majority of the fight, and it won't matter because if he lands on that chin, it's lights out. Rock kick has only been KO'd twice, though, and he's very hard to finish because one was a leg injury, and one was a crazy war against Yuri Prochazka. And Prochazka, that guy is an absolute monster. Give me Aspinall Mirzakhanov for the dub. I like Aspinall by KO on points. Let's go, my guy, Aspinall for the dub. Let's go. Let's go. Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida, guys. Alexander Volkov plus 158. Jailton Almeida minus 205. Another great fight. The UFC said they will do Volkov a favor after that robbery loss to Cyril Gane. Now we will see if it was really a favor. Alexander Volkov, 38-11 overall, 12-5 in the UFC. Fought the who's who, a company man for the UFC, but sometimes being a company man doesn't always end up being good for you. You know, if you do UFC a lot of favors, sometimes it's not good. You know, sometimes it's just not good. And what I mean by that is like Jung Young Park accepting that fight on short notice. He got a favor and then he did the UFC a favor and they tried to give him a favor by giving Bruno Silva a favorable matchup. But Bruno Silva was on some crazy gear. And it's like, you did the UFC a favor, but now you're on a 2-fight losing skid. You know, Alexander Volkov, you did the UFC a favor. I mean, like, it was a robbery, whatever. The UFC said they're going to do you a favor. And then what? Now you're on a 2-fight losing skid. Which, we don't know that yet. He's a company man, 80-inch reach, huge, 6'7". He can be a bit slow, not too athletic, but is technical and he can wrestle as well. Not too much of a specialist, but he's willing to scrap it out every single time. Tough as nails, matched up against a relentless grappler. Relentless. Jailton Almeida, 34 years old, 22-3 overall, 8-1 in the UFC. His only loss in the UFC is Curtis Blades because he didn't let go of that shot. He just stayed there and took it. He just took that damage. Jailton Almeida shoots and shoots and shoots. He has finished all of his opponents except for one, the GOAT, Derek Lewis. My balls are hot. The thing about Almeida is he has great control, great shot selection, but if he can't have success with the takedowns, he's fucked. He's on a 2-fight win streak, beating Alexander Romanov and Sergey Spivak. I like Jailton, but Alexander should be the better striker by miles. Jailton, he shoots and shoots. He took down Blades 9 times, which means that he can't control sometimes that very well. Volkov is a vet. You don't want to make a mistake against Volkov and end up with Volkov on full mount. Because Volkov's not RDR. Volkov will land some ground and pound if he's on full mount on Jailton Almeida. Don't fall off the back if you have back control, Almeida. We saw Tom Aspinall shoot against Volkov off the rip and submit him with a straight arm lock. Almeida to get the job done, start flowing. Almeida by KO or submission. Almeida by submission on points. Let's go, my guy Jailton Almeida for the dub. Let's go. Let's go. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista, guys. And obviously, I'm willing to hear whatever you guys want to. If I said something wrong, if I messed up, type it in the comments, guys. Minus 530 for Umar Nurmagomedov. Mario Batista plus 360. This is a very good fight. Very important fight for bantamweight as well. The winner of this is on the road to a title shot. Maybe 2-1 win away. Depends on who wins. Number 2 ranked Umar Nurmagomedov versus number 8 ranked Mario Batista. These are words from Bilal. Bilal says that Umar has been working through hell under Coach Khabib, especially after taking his very first loss. Khabib has been putting these guys through a war zone. Islam as well. Islam is already in New York City, guys. He already is in New York City with a Nike Tech. Khabib has been putting these guys through a war zone, guys. You know when Conor said, my camp has been a war zone heading into the Khabib fight? That's what Khabib's been putting his guys through. Merab is already defending his belt at UFC 323 against Peter Yan, 4-time within this year. Umar Nurmagomedov, very good striker, at times can grapple as well, very great control. Umar is 29 years old, 8-1, only losses to Merab, 2 wins by KO, 7 wins by sub, and 9 wins by decision. He is 6-1 in the UFC, 2-0 in the PFL. Umar said himself, many fans have high expectations for him because of his last name. And that's a curse and a blessing at the same time, because it can be beneficial at the same time, considering he is looked at way more, and he got a title shot off of that as well. Obviously, you know, he deserves his title shot, or whatever you want to say. Umar has a good karate, in and out movement style, great shot selection as well. He tends to go all out with the grappling. Once he starts flowing on the ground, he can cut through transitions like a hot knife through butter. He chain wrestles very well. The thing about Umar is he has a beautiful question mark kick, front kick, very good kick heavy style, and he can dart in and out like no other. He did break his hand against Merab though. Let's hope he doesn't be more prone to injury. Sometimes when you break your hand can be more susceptible to being broken again. Dan Hooker broke his hand like multiple times throughout his career, and he says, oh, just a scratch. But if your hand is broken, sometimes it's more susceptible to being broken again. Matched up against Mario Batista. Batista is super well-rounded athlete. He deserves this opportunity. He's fought the who's who. Batista is 10-2 in the UFC. Only 2 losses are Corey Sandhagen and Trevin Jones. He's now on an 8-fight win streak. Wide variety of submissions. As such, armbar, a tight rear naked choke, a nice guillotine, a darce choke. Notable wins for Mario, Jose Aldo, Patchy Mix, Damon Blackshear in a super close fight. Brian Kelleher, he's light on his toes, and he has activity. Always moving, always putting pressure. 5'9", 69-inch reach. 32 years old. He does get tagged up sometimes, but he rolls with the punches very well, and he doesn't ever seem to be out of place. Excellent fight IQ. Against Patchy Mix, he landed 173 significant strikes in just that fight alone, but Patchy doesn't move his head if his life depended on it. I don't really like Mario Batista, but we have to respect his consistency. He's very good at what he does. I'm going to go with Umar. Umar should be able to win this fight, put a beating on Mario, show Mario what a true elite bantamweight looks like. Umar should start a heavy kick style, and you better win that first round, because if you have to play catch-up against Mario Batista, trust me, bro, you do not want to play catch-up against Mario Batista. If Mario wins that first round, all he has to do is win the second or third. He's a little bit more comfortable and he can start flowing. Overwhelm the overwhelmer. Mario's the overwhelmer. Umar overwhelmed the overwhelmer. I know that's not a word, but overwhelm the guy who overwhelms people. Implement damage and show levels. Umar's going to be the pick. Let's go with my guy, Umar Nurmagomedov. But guys, I don't trust this. A majority tap out is 90%. I don't like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Might sprinkle Mario in a parlay. Might put him in a, might put Umar, Mario in one parlay. Mario 3.5 plus 3.5. He'll probably cover it. Verna Jandaroba plus 120. Mackenzie Dern minus 154. Former strawweight champion has moved up to challenge Valentina Shevchenko at 125 at MSG. MSG is going to be amazing, guys. If you want to include this one, 4 events away from MSG, guys. I love this fight. I can't wait for Weili versus Shevchenko. Women's MMA has been a lot more fun as of lately. I know a lot of people are like, what? But I like it, guys. I really do. The last time these 2 ladies fought was all the way back in 2020 at UFC 256. Figgy versus Moreno won in the Apex. They were able to hear their corners so much louder. It was a competitive fight for all 3 rounds. Since then, Verna Jandaroba is now on a 5-fight win streak, beating Angela Hill, Marina Rodriguez, Lupita Godinez, Amanda Lemos, and Yan Shannan. I was surprised to see Verna as an underdog here, but it makes sense when you take a closer look. Verna is 37 years old. It's now or never for her. Verna has great grappling, decent striking because she doesn't move her head at all if her life depended on it, but she's a true specialist when it comes to the takedown, control, position over submission. I love it. She took down Yan Shannan 3 times and she had 10 minutes of control. 14 subs overall, 1 win by KO and 7 wins by decision, 8-3 in the UFC. Wide variety of subs, armbar, arm triangle, rear naked choke, sneaky triangle choke as well. She has wins over Jaqueline Amorim. Not over Jaqueline Amorim. Verna Jandaroba has wins over Jaqueline Amorim's opponent, who we talked about earlier, remember. I believe her name is Mizuki Inoue. She actually won the belt in Invictica FC 28 against Mizuki Inoue. Her grappling needs to get going, matched up against Mackenzie Dern. Giya. Mackenzie Dern, 15-5, only 32 years old, 10-5 in the UFC, coming off of a 2-fight win streak, beating Lupita Godinez in a close fight, and Amanda Ribas by armbar with 4 seconds left into round 3. Mackenzie Dern has lost to the who's who. Amanda Ribas, she lost to Amanda Ribas her first fight. Marina Rodriguez in a 5-rounder. Yan Shannan she lost to. She lost to Jessica Andrade by KO and Amanda Lemos. Dern needs to have better shot selection. I don't know. When Dern gets hurt, you can tell she doesn't stay composed. That Jessica Andrade fight showed that she can take a beating. She's tough as nails, but can she, I don't know. She couldn't rely on her takedowns to survive that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she had better takedown shot selection, she could probably survive that fight against Jessica Andrade and maybe lose by decision, maybe win by decision. You know what I'm saying? This being a rematch is important as well. Ribas won the first fight in the rematch against Dern. Ribas won the first fight against Dern, right? And then when they rematched, Dern won the rematch. Dern won the first fight against Verna. When they rematch, can you imagine if Verna wins? Verna is so much better than she was 5 years ago. Dern can lock up a sub after getting controlled. The pick is going to be Verna Jandiroba. Verna to start a grappling clinic, land pepper shots, position over submission, get the job done. Verna by 48-47, 49-46, and 48-47 unanimous decision. It should be a good jiu-jitsu match. And Mackenzie Dern's very tough as nails, might be able to hand fight. I like Verna by submission round points. I like her money line, guys. She's an underdog. I think she should be able to win this fight, guys. Let's go with my girl, Verna Jandiroba. Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane. Tommy Aspinall. Minus 480 for Tom Aspinall. Ciryl Gane plus 330. Tom Aspinall is making his first undisputed title defense. But Izzy Adesanya said defending your interim belt should count as a defense. It depends on you guys. It's all subjective. Tom Aspinall is a finisher with a 100% finish rate, 8-1 in the UFC. That one loss is a knee injury against Curtis Blades, which he later avenged. And guys, avenging your losses is very good. It looks very good on your resume, and it means that you got a lot better than the first time you guys fought. So if Verna can avenge her loss to Dern, I would love that. I would love to see it. 11 KOs in the first round for Tom, 4 wins by sub. BJJ black belt with a wide variety of subs. It's kind of like a tongue twister for me, so my bad, guys. A wide variety of subs, such as straight arm lock, rear naked choke, heel hook, and a nice arm triangle. He got in the amateur bouts as well. His only 3 losses are Stuart Austin, who caught him in a heel hook, Lucas Parabik, who he threw 12-6 elbow and he got DQ'd, and Curtis Blades' knee injury. Notable performances for Tom Aspinall. Curtis Blades, Sergey Spivak, Marcin, and Volkov. And when I say, guys. Marcin Tybura, yes. I just wanted to make sure. All right, so very good notable performances. But I love the performance that he had against Pavlovich because it showed he had very good head movement. It showed that he can take a punch as well because he did get caught early in that fight. Tom is quick, great head movement, 100% takedown accuracy. Matched up against Ciryl Gane. If you really look at it, I hate saying it like this because I said this the same thing with Ankalaev against Pereira, but Gane doesn't deserve a title shot. He needs to be active, and he's not active, and he didn't win his last fight. He's getting a title shot off of 2 wins, Spivak and Volkov. 35 years old for Gane, 13-2. Only 2 losses are Francis Ngannou and John Jones. That Francis fight was almost 4 years ago, and it's still on his last 5 fights. Shows you how inactive Gane has been. Gane is a true technician. Great in and out style, great on the counter, and he has been finished only once. He's only been finished once, guys. He has a beautiful heel hook, which Tom Aspinall lost by heel hook. MMA math doesn't always work. Oblique kick very good for Ciryl Gane. Positive striking differential as well. Great footwork, but take what I say with a grain of salt. But I feel like Ciryl Gane is a little bit of, okay, I'm out of this fight. You know, if the fight doesn't go his way, all right, he's willing to take the easy way out. Against Francis, he got controlled, got taken down in that 5th round, had no urgency to get up, kind of chasing subs. When it goes and gets tough, you can see it on Ciryl Gane's face. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't have a good poker face, and he doesn't have that grit. He doesn't have that determination. He doesn't have that dog in him. When Volkov was on top of him, Ciryl Gane, in round 3, Ciryl Gane had no urgency to get up. He lost that fight against Volkov, in my honest opinion. Gane is good, but inactivity plus stylistically, this should be Tom's time. Gane is on his 3rd title fight. I believe he had a title fight against Derek Lewis, interim, Francis Ngannou, and now it's his 3rd title fight against Tom Aspinall. Tom only has had 16 minutes in 9 UFC fights. This should be fun. Let's see if he gets the job done quicker than Jones. You know, everybody's going to be like, oh, does he get it quicker? Does he get the job done quicker than John Jones or not? Undisputed champ, Aspinall by KO or sub. Aspinall inside the distance. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Let me know what you guys think of the predictions, guys. My bad. If, you know, I do get my way of words a little bit mixed up, my wide variety, I will get my pronunciation a little bit better. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one, guys. And I hope you guys are ready for the lock of the week that comes out Wednesday. My last minute predictions, you guys have been showing so much love. And we're almost at 2,600 subs. So subscribe if you guys haven't. Before you know it, we'll be at 3K. I love you guys. Peace. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey. Peace.